everybody, welcome back to the Vestibule of Heck podcast, episode 15, I believe.
Sure.
We're on 15.
Okay.
I'm Brendan.
And I'm Mitchell.
And if it's not the 15th episode, I'll just go in and post and be like
14.
Yeah, I'll put that exact voice clip over it.
Gotcha.
So, Mitchell.
Yeah.
We're here. We got a camera.
We do. We got a camera.
I like that every time we do that gag. Because it's like, what do I say? Like, do I make the joke again? And of course, I'm just gonna keep.
Gotta make the it wouldn't be Heck Media if we didn't drive the joke into the ground.
So Mitchell, how have you been?
Been okay.
Been okay. Well, I've been great.
Yeah.
Because we put out Heckmas. We got Heckmas done.
Christmas Hecktacular. Yeah.
And for everyone at home, let me tell you about the way we shot this. We did this all like Mad Men. So, the whole process from conception, so writing the jokes, figuring all that out, and then production, so where we were shooting, and then editing was 3 days. Up to upload. 3 days to upload.
Yeah.
And, oh my god, we're never doing that ever again. I'm happy with Heckmas. There's certain things that, again, there are problems with it because there's problems with everything we make.
Could have been better, but
it was good and done.
Could have been a lot worse in 3 days. Could have been a lot shorter.
And from people who've watched it, everyone likes it enough. So, everyone...
At the very least, there's parts, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, and the biggest criticism I got with it was that it stretches on a little too long in a couple parts, and I agree.
Yeah.
Some of those were intentional. Many of them were not.
What are you going to do?
And so it's just a kind of a learning experience. Learned a lot at
Yeah, I'd say.
Don't do it in 3 days.
Plan ahead.
Plan ahead. Well, because I wanted to avoid what happened with the Halloween, the Hey Remember
Where
Purge
you
episode.
just missed Halloween.
Because it came out on the 11th of November.
Well, I mean, that's
not
Halloween. November 11th. That's
never forget. Halloween.
Never forget Halloween. November 11th.
November 11th. That's why those 2 months are right next to each other. Yeah, those two 11s that are important.
So I feel like we should bring attention to this. Has been the first full year of Heck Media.
Woo! I know. Let it out. First year done.
Boy, howdy.
I think the first year is always probably the hardest. I gotta imagine, because you're kind of setting up your feel, you're setting up your style and how you do things. And so I think now we've kind of established a little niche for ourselves.
Yeah,
insofar, especially in terms of our creative direction. I feel like our visions are a lot more unified now. We did the things in the beginning. We did the Bean Boozle last year.
Yeah.
I say last
apparently
year.
That was 2016, which blew my mind. I had no idea.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and we were like, oh my god, that we didn't make, because we were going to discuss what we're going to discuss now, which is our favorite Heck moments, or our favorite things we put out for Heck in 2017, and we were like, oh, what about Bean Boozle? Bean Boozle was fun. Oh my god.
That was not this year somehow.
So out of all the things we've made so far this past year, what's been your favorite?
I liked The Purge. Not only because the Hey Remember on The Purge. Not only, for a few reasons, and I'll just list them, right? Hey Remember, that's my baby, and I'm really glad that we're leaning hard into it. Also, I like I think the skit before it is maybe one of the funniest things we've done.
I would agree. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It hits funny notes, and that's where we kind of figured out our jokes per minute.
Yeah, our jokes per minute theorem, which will be coming at you hard and fast in 2018.
Get ready.
And then finally, I guess the third point, I also liked our stupid little gag of the Purge feed. So pretty much that whole video came together for me. I know it's kind of a low light, the talking over the about the video.
Right, yeah, comparatively.
Comparatively to the skit, it's not as funny. It's more informative. But I think we kind of balanced it okay with that whole Purge feed gimmick there.
It's funny because I was talking to, I can't remember who I was talking to, someone who watched it, and and they can't wait to edit that out.
Look at the cat's over there thinking he's sly because I can't yell at him. Hey,
cut it out.
Get down.
We can yell at you.
I see you over there. Just because the camera's shooting doesn't mean I can't see you, little shit.
Talk about Heck.
So Heck Media is a YouTube conglomerate with heckmedia.com, in which we produce content. Thank God you're back. I was just talking about Heck Media.
Are you reading our mission statement that I've changed 18 times this year?
know what you're talking about.
So yeah, I think for the funny thing about the Purge feed, bringing it back, the funny thing about the Purge feed was that it was completely stream of consciousness. I wish you guys could see the behind the scenes of us making it. Because
Actually, that'd be a good idea. We should sort of record a behind the scenes type of...
Do it behind the scenes.
I mean, just kind of like give people little snippets into the creative process, because a lot of our jokes, as I'm sure the 20 of you who watch know, are a little bit specious. For example, in the most recent video, we did the framed picture of Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Nobody got that joke. That was completely stream of consciousness.
You know, but also, hang on. I want to defend my Steven Tyler joke because they show in the phase 12 Days of Christmas, they show the great aunt. And when I first saw it, I'm like, she got Steven Tyler hair.
Aunt Becky with the good fur.
Aunt Becky with the good fur. See, that was a joke that would have been too specious.
Cut.
that joke got cut. And that's the funny thing. Despite the Heckmas being 25 minutes long,
you think we don't cut things?
We cut. I cut
that would have been a movie. It would have been 90 minutes.
I had to cut so many jokes, and that was when we were filming. And then when I was editing, I had to cut even more stuff, which is fine. Like I don't mind cutting things. I think a big Achilles heel of a lot of artists is that they calling us artists.
Fartists.
Fartists. I think a big Achilles heel of a lot of fartists. Whether you're a writer or whatever, you're not willing to cut things out.
No, we cut the fat here at Heck Media.
I hate it. Anytime I help any of my contemporaries or anyone who writes, and I see it and it's like, this needs to go. And they're like, well, I really like it. I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter if you like it, does it, buddy?
No.
Ultimately.
Now, I guess we'll just do our Vestibule of Heck podcast off-topic shoot of the every episode's got at least one of them. Mm-hmm. Most of them are just entirely that.
Yeah.
But when we started Heck Media, I wanted to make sure that since we're a creative duo, we've been friends for a long time, I wanted to make sure we didn't get stuck in the same ruts that a lot of creative duos do. Now, I'm going to compare us to some pretty pie-in-the-sky names here.
I'm ready for the Abbott and Costellos,
well, no,
Batman and Robin.
Well, no, the big problem, right, is you have, like, Tim Burton and Johnny Depp. A couple of very talented people who team up all the time.
Sure.
And at the beginning, it was fine, but then eventually they kind of, it appears, stopped criticizing each other. It seems like they stopped telling each other when an idea was bad or half-baked, and I never wanted to be that. So I guess the thing that I'm proudest of in this year is that everything that we put out, I think, was very heavily edited and cut down, and each of us lost things that we wanted to keep for the sake of better content.
Yeah, I mean, I have a huge...
I fought hard for that Becky with the good fur joke.
And I'm like, no one's going to get that.
It didn't work.
I loved it, but I'm like, we can't. No one's going to... The amount of effort we'd have to put in for anyone to get that joke, we'd have... Who does that song? Is that...
That was Beyonce. You don't think...
Beyonce.
You don't think the hecklers and the members of the Bayhive don't...
Is that what they call themselves?
Well, I think the Beehive, but she's Queen Bey. I don't know a lot about Beyonce.
I thought she was also Queen Bee.
I think
or is that Lord? Because you can call me Queen Bee.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm Queen Bee. So as Queen Bee of Heck, no. So yeah, no. There's a lot of things I really like in videos. I like breaking things. I've always thought that breaking things is funny. I love slapstick. Like in the most recent Heckmas, I'm so happy I got to hurt myself.
Yeah.
Because
he was thrilled about that.
I was so excited because I'm like, I grew up watching. I mean, I'm wearing an XYZ shirt right now. It's a skate brand, but Steve-O.
If that was Yu-Gi-Oh, it'd be Xyz.
Good thing it's not Yu-Gi-Oh.
Why was that a good thing?
Because Xyz monsters are stupid. I don't want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh talk. Anyway, so...
And you should see the new Yu-Gi-Oh. But I don't want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh talk either.
No, we'll do a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast, and it'll be great.
We'll do a Yu-Gi-Oh promise.
Yu-Gi-Oh cast.
Add that to the list of things that we promised to do and never will.
Call it the card cast. Call it the cool cast. But I really like kind of like pratfalling and stuff like that, and pretty much every single video I'm like, we should break something, and Mitchell has to reel me back in and be like, it's not funny to everyone.
Yeah, for our little here's another segment that we usually do, Heck's Inside Baseball.
Hey, we're back, baby.
Yeah, it's like we never stop making these horrible podcasts that nobody likes. So originally
10 or 15 people like the podcast.
That's right.
And that's all I need.
And that's
Thanks,
minus the two of us, like 13. So in the video, what video do we smash the light bulb in?
That was in I'm doing a sight gag. What was that was
Yeah, I don't remember.
Horror movie. It was the first one we did. It was not Avatar. It was not The Purge. It was the... hang on, I'll look it up.
I don't remember.
I can't believe that it's only been a year and we're already forgetting shit that we've made.
That's
sad.
That's preposterous. Anyway, I'll just keep telling the story. So at first...
23 subscribers, by the way. Thanks.
Hey,
Subscriber
thanks,
number
guys.
23.
Appreciate you. So...
Gravity. Why did we
was
do...
that Gravity? I don't think it was. Wonderball.
Oh, it was Wonderball. It was.
Wonderball.
Yeah.
So, during the Wonderball sketch...
Also, hang on. Wonderball is also, I never realized, 14 minutes and 20 seconds. So you're welcome.
Hey, take that one off.
Hey. Skeet.
So, during that video, during the skit for that video, Brendan wanted to smash an entire fluorescent tube.
I don't remember. I mean, I believe you, but I don't remember.
We went to the store to pick it up, and I said, wait, wouldn't it be funnier if it was something smaller? Not wanting to literally cover my floor in glass.
Well, it's also...
Now, it turns out it was a great idea that I made it something smaller because my floor was still covered in glass. Imagine if it had been a fluorescent tube, I wouldn't have been able to walk.
I'm so happy. I don't remember, but like... I can believe me be like, no, we gotta get a whole fluorescent tube, and I'm gonna smash it, and maybe you can hit me with it. Like,
yeah, it was something.
Oh, good.
So we both make sacrifices around here.
And I think, yeah, and I guess, yeah, to that point, if you're ever working on a team with people, you know, I imagine a lot of people probably figure this out at some point. It's not rocket science.
Well, but a lot of people don't, and that's my point.
Yeah, exactly. And so for the people who don't know, compromise. You got to compromise because I think some of the best stuff is made by teams that compromise, right?
When working with others, don't be afraid to criticize, and don't be an asshole about getting criticism.
Yeah, like don't pretend like your idea is like the ultimate idea. And
I understand being attached passionately to something creative that you thought of, but that said, we've all had bad ideas. Listen to the people around you. There's a reason that they're around you. You probably should trust them if they're close to you. But
also, if they let it slide, if you don't say anything or you say too much and you really push for it and it doesn't work out, learn from that.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, well, it was a good idea, just nobody liked it.
Yeah,
like, well,
as we said,
why did no one like it?
We've just learned from the Christmas Hectacular. It was good. Wasn't as good as it could have been. We should have given ourselves more time.
Yeah, I think it was more... I think doing the full 12 days was kind of a mistake. Because that was the part that... Like, the intro was good. The song was not great. I mean, again, 3 days cycle. And that includes the song. We do not have a... I mean, if you look around, we do not have a professional studio. And on top of that...
You think?
On top of that, I mean, I'm not a professional guitarist. I don't have a nice guitar. I don't have nice equipment. I have utilitarian stuff because I like playing alone or like for my girlfriend or whatever, you know. And so... Also, another thing... You know, embrace your limitations.
Yeah.
A lot of what we did in this past year was due to our limitations. For example, I think the Purge video worked so well because we had such a clear idea that we needed to be separated.
Yeah.
And so we both kind of wrote our own sketches almost and put them together.
Yeah.
And kind of sliced them in so it made sense logically.
And it was also, that creative process was over the course of probably a week. Yeah, and that was a much shorter video than the Hectacular.
Well, that and it was a skit, and so the skit was like 2 minutes max.
Yeah, even the whole thing.
So yeah,
was about the same length, and most of it was just one conversation.
Mm-hmm. And so you got to imagine like I said, when I edited the Heckmas special, the Heckmas Hectacular. It was a 20-hour editing session, and God bless my poor little heart. I sat there for 20 hours straight. Like, I mean, I just graduated, so I mean, you know, I have a little free time.
Yeah.
Before I get a job, and fortunately for us, and you know, understand your limitations, but also embrace your limitations because they can, you know, a lot of things were made under constraints, and they're great because of that. Yeah. They have those constraints on them. So as we move into the next year...
Yeah, as a sort of a special treat for you guys, we're going to divert a little bit from our usual rambling podcast style, and we're going to kind of give you a heck year in review, kind of the best and worst of what we've done and what we've seen. So I guess we should just start with somebody that we really liked in 2017, some new artist that you started following in 2017.
So this might sound kind of crazy to some people because I know one of the biggest rock bands, if not the biggest rock band ever.
Yeah.
The Beatles.
Yeah.
I really got into the Beatles this year, and it was kind of a twofold affair. This summer I took a summer class to graduate faster because get me the hell out of college. But I took a history of the Beatles course, and it was fascinating. I loved it. But it forced me to listen to basically their entire discography, even the stuff I didn't like or didn't think I was going to like.
Yeah.
And another part of that, again, I'm just going to talk about my girlfriend all the time now. Not like she's new or anything. She's been around since heck. But, like...
That's true.
I don't know. It's just the Beatles, right?
Wow.
She's a huge Beatles fan. And so, you know, being the cool guy that I am, I learned a Beatles song for her on guitar. And it was nice. And it was like... I never understood why the Beatles were so important until I kind of looked into it. And if you ever want to read a book on the Beatles, History of the Beatles by somebody, I don't know who's by, but it's got a great cover. It's got all their faces on it. It's on Amazon. It's like $1. You know, you can buy an ebook for like $1, or buy a real book and then have it shipped to you for $2.99.
Yeah. Or
maybe someone's selling it with Prime. I don't know. I haven't looked since I got Prime.
I bet you.
But yeah, so the Beatles also, Sgt. Pepper's is probably the best album ever made. I understand why people say that now.
Wow.
And I hate India. It ruined the Beatles. Going to India ruined the Beatles.
Was that the psychedelic phase that you
yeah, that I
railed against?
I wrote an article for the site.
So the more devoted fans could have seen this coming.
Hey, exactly. If you just watch what we do, you'll know what we'll say. Because one-trick ponies, all of us. Both of us.
That's not true for my answer. They have no idea about my answer.
Blowing minds.
This is an inside meme.
Well, they might know if they were paying attention to Heckmas, the Hectacular during the music video.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Listen, we sprinkle things. I think we grew up in a time where we love things referencing themselves, like series. Growing up watching YouTube, and that's something I want to get to. Maybe if we get to it later.
Sure.
But the first YouTube generation, we didn't grow up watching TV.
Yeah. I mean, to a point, we weren't. We got kind of both. We'll talk about it later. So my favorite artist that I discovered in 2017 is The Game.
Let's list the things that he's not before we see how great he is. He's not a bird.
Not a bird.
And he's not a plane.
Not a plane.
And he's not gay.
No.
Those are the three things.
The documentary, The Game's documentary, Stop Snitching, Stop Lying. Whole thing's on YouTube. Do yourself a favor and watch it. Because the funniest person on the planet edited it. Don't know his name.
He needs a medal.
His or her name. Don't know who it is.
They need a trophy because The Game. I mean, I'll let you tell me about The Game.
The Game.
Imagine that I've never heard of The Game.
The Game was a mid 2000s rapper, part of that kind of second wave gangster rap. He kind of came up with 50 Cent. He was part of G Unit, a thing that everybody knows what it is. I'm not a big hip hop guy, not a big rap guy generally. But even I know what G Unit is.
Everyone, yeah.
So
it's ubiquitous.
He came up with G Unit, and so a lot of his supporters were members of G Unit. A lot of his friends and colleagues. He had a beef with 50 Cent.
He had a beef with 50 Cent. For all our audio listeners, if you've got this tabbed, those were air quotes that you just felt.
He made a whole documentary about it. That's what Stop Snitching, Stop Lying is about. And it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. His music is mediocre at best, and
all of it.
But he's a giant meme.
He's an asshole. It's so great.
He's a real piece of shit.
If you got 45 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't remember how long it was. It was long.
It was long. It's a documentary.
It's feature length. Thank God.
It's at least an hour long.
If you ever get a chance, if you got some layover time, if you're flying for the holidays, watch Stop Stitching, Stop Lying.
But like
language
I said,
warning.
Language warning. A lot of anti-gay slurs.
And anti-Semitic. He says a couple things about.
Does he really?
About them. About
the
royal we. Yeah.
A little nerve-wracking. A lot of anti-gay slurs. Not a big fan. If you're a big fan of Ja Rule or 50 Cent, you might want to avoid it. Or don't, because it'll make you hate the game even more than maybe you already do.
Hey, don't hate the player. Hate the game. You should hate the game. But no, the game. You know, we found in the Heckmas video. There was a part in the montage, the music video part, where the camera came up and there was a calculator and something else, and of course type 420 on it because we're comedians, and the price tag on the calculator was 69, and that's funny. That's a sex number. and I put it on top of a CD of the game, which we bought.
Of course.
That was my Christmas present to you. I got you
was.
the game, and then I got you a Savage Garden CD.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I got you trash.
I mean, I don't mind Savage Garden.
Savage Garden's good.
Also, the game is my favorite. So.
He is your favorite of 2017.
And he's the motherfucking game.
He's not a bird.
Not a plane.
Motherfucking game.
Game. So,
What
do
a
yourselves a
meme.
favor. Watch this horrible documentary edited by maybe the funniest person ever.
The way they cut to things and the way they drop music out, it looks like something we made.
Yeah, it really does.
Because one of my favorite gags that we do is dropping the music out.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I liked in Heckmas. There was several points where I dropped the music out for a couple seconds, and it's just like silence.
Yeah.
And just like everyone's like looking around, kind of awkward.
Somehow running music is almost always funny when it just stops.
Well, it becomes such a part of like the scenery.
Yeah.
Right? It becomes like as pivotal as what's on the screen.
Yeah.
You know. And so we start out with that phenomenal Last Christmas MIDI, the Wham MIDI.
Which, if we haven't, we should go like put a link to that in the comments. Or something.
I gotta go back to the description and put, because someone asked me for all the music.
Yeah.
Where we found all the music,
because
which is
the
good.
MIDI that we used of Last Christmas has a couple of errors in it, and they are the funniest shit I think maybe I've ever heard.
It's like the notes are just like half a step off, and it just sounds awful because it's such a well known.
They're
song.
either off rhythm or off key, and it's so good. So good.
I love MIDIs. I like that era of music where it was in like the 90s and a little bit into the early 2000s where it was all MIDI instruments. Everyone was so obsessed with like, look what computers can do. And then they kind of like realized in the early 2000s that it's like, wait, but it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
What if we waited until it sounded a little better, and now you have like contemporary
Yeah.
artists who are using computers and it doesn't sound like fucking shit. But it is fucking funny.
It is funny. But I guess speaking of bad things, because we like bad things.
We like exclusively bad.
Here's Heck Media's worst foods of 2017. So go ahead. I'll let you take the reins.
I can't read from here. Sorry. So
pay no heed to our production document down there. Now, don't pretend it wasn't in the shot the whole first 2-3 minutes, and then I pushed it away.
I'll just censor it. I'll just put a big censor bar over it. No one.
Just put a big dick over it,
and then we'll censor the dick.
And then we'll censor the dick.
And so it'll be like, well, why was there a dick there? And they won't even think about what could have been under the dick. So I wrote down my worst food as. God, my eyes are so bad. I need to get new glasses.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. So I made a joke once. I wrote a small piece, and I was describing someone. I was describing a wholly unlikable person, like someone. You meet these people, and they're just trash. The second you meet them, you're like, I don't like you, and I don't know why. I described this person as the kind of person who would go to a bar and order Evan Williams and Pepsi. So for everyone who's not an alcoholic, Evan Williams is a knockoff sort of Jack Daniels. It's like John's Daphne, and it's like that kind of knockoff-y kind of character.
John's Daphne.
And so I thought to myself, like, what's the perfect antithesis of a very normal drink of Jack and Coke?
Yeah.
An Evan Williams and Pepsi. An Evan and Pepsi, I guess.
Evan and Pepsi.
A good old Evan P.
Never. Actually, now that you mention that, I've never heard Pepsi in the ranks of a known cocktail.
No, because Pepsi's weird. Pepsi's not good mixed with things. Something about Coke. I don't know what they do with it.
It's less syrupy.
I can't wait till they put out Coke 2 again.
New Coke?
No, Coke 2. You ever hear Coke 2? Oh, it's
No,
great.
I've heard of Coke 2.
Coke 2. I don't know if it ever went into production. I'll look it up and
Please don't.
put something on the screen to show you guys Coke 2. But
Coca-Cola Company, please don't.
I want to bring back Coke 2. Sponsor us. Can we get sponsored by Coke and get them to make Coke 2 again?
Pepsi as a cola might be kind of a joke, but hey, they're in touch with the people. They brought back Crystal Pepsi.
I love Crystal. I have a Crystal Pepsi t-shirt.
That's what I'm saying.
I love it. I love Crystal Pepsi.
That's what I'm saying. I think Pepsi is the people's cola.
Pepsi, the people. Yeah. Put that on the...
Also, I love how people can see... Actually, people can see Steven Tyler up there.
Nice.
I never realized
Hey,
that he's in the shot.
Well, Stevie T. Anyway, so I made this... I wrote this in a short story I was writing, and I'm like, that's funny. I bet that's real bad. Never really thinking, never think I would try it. And
Turns out.
I had the opportunity. I was at a bar, and they had Evan Williams, and they had Pepsi. Because it was like a bar, but it was also like a bar and grill, kind of.
Yeah.
It wasn't a name brand place. Like, it wasn't like a chain or anything.
Sure.
It was just some shithole in the horrible Siberian north of New York. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a little bit of that. Give me one of them. And the way the bartender looked at me like I'm an animal, which is accurate and fair.
Now, I actually have an interesting insight into this. I'll wager that you've had a Jack and Pepsi before.
I mean, I don't order them a lot when I go out, but I would imagine at some point.
Well, because the reason I say that is I work in a restaurant. Pepsi is by and far cheaper than Coca-Cola to have distributed. So,
They might be regional, or is it just in general?
it's at the very least in all of New York, because these same distributors work in all of New York. So it's cheaper to have Pepsi distributed than Coke. So I'm gonna bet a lot of the places that you've ordered Jack and Coke, it's been a Jack and Pepsi.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be at least somebody. Though again, if you're at a bar, they might go out of their way to get Coke and charge you for it. But the fact is, I knew this time.
Yeah.
There's Evan Williams and Pepsi.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it was Evan Williams. If you've ever had a knockoff Jack Daniels, they can never get the initial taste right. Like all whiskey burns the same after it gets to your throat, but the initial taste of Evan Williams is like getting kicked in the teeth.
There's a reason people pay more for like a decent whiskey.
It was also in a plastic bottle, and if there's anything in a plastic bottle at a bar, unless you're doing a budget night, you might want to
avoid it.
Listen, I love well drinks so much as the next guy. Sometimes if I get like a well gin and tonic, I'm happy, but do not get a well Evan Williams and Pepsi.
Isn't every Evan Williams and Pepsi a well drink? You're drinking Evan Williams and Pepsi.
It's a not well drink because it's a not good drink.
Not well.
It's not well. It's sick.
I am not well. I'm drinking Evan Williams and Pepsi.
So yeah, first of all, don't do that. First of all. Second of all, there's no second.
Mine ranks among the disgusting gas station snack foods.
Great. My favorite.
I went up to visit Shaboy out in Potsdam when he was going to school. And I went out the day before and went and got some snacks for the road. Long drive, need some snacks. So I bought these things called Crunchy Kernels or Crunchin' Kernels.
Kernels.
I think it was Crunchin' Kernels. I think. I won't remember the name because they're terrible.
We were high and we weren't eating them.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad. Like
yeah.
Like we just and I'll eat anything. I'll start eating my own hands. Like I get munchies real bad.
I was on the drive up there. I got so hungry. I ate a few of them and they were the worst. I ate a few more when I first got there just because I was again starving. Because I hadn't eaten a real meal.
And we were about to go out to get food and it was like, it might take a little while. And,
so, oh my god, they're just hard and flavorless.
Just imagine all the worst parts of eating bad popcorn. Like you burn popcorn a little bit.
Unpopped kernels is what it almost felt like. You know those half pop kernels that are like half popcorn and then half just hard shell?
But they also had like a weird... The inside texture was like Cheetos mixed with like graham crackers. It was such a weird... it was mealy. Too squishy, but it was also crunchy in a bad way.
Uh-huh. Half of it was mealy and half of it was hard.
Yeah.
Pretty much just the worst thing. That said, been some good food too.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, we're gonna do a hard shell real quick. I'm gonna look right at the camera. Audio listeners, I'm pointing at it. I'm looking at it. That's what I'm doing. So there is a place in Schenectady that serves the best food on the entire planet. It's called Dave's Gourmet Burgers.
And more,
because it's not just burgers.
No,
it is more, and the more is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, he serves like kung pao chicken, like he serves.
I think he serves like falafel.
He serves
gyros.
Gyros, and he serves like lamb tikka masala. He's got a weird menu, but he's primarily a burger chef, and he's our boy.
He also serves exotic meats, which is what I'm always into, because give me something I've never eaten. Anytime I go out, I will always prefer something I've never eaten over something I've already eaten.
He actually had some notoriety in our area, in the Albany area. He used to be located in Colony. Now, when he was there, when he first opened, he would sell lion. Now,
I missed the lion age of Dave's.
I never was there for it either, because it's illegal now.
A lot of things. New York is really stomping on just Dave's balls.
Well, lion's legal everywhere now. At least in the U.S., I mean.
That's stupid.
But he used to sell lion. He got a lot of shit for it. But he's a great guy. Very personable, very kind, generous, funny. He's kind of nutty, but you get to know him.
He's a real genuine guy.
Yeah.
He's never going to bullshit you.
You treat him right, he'll treat you right.
And so one time we were there and went with our buddy EB. Which you saw in the hot pepper video, if you've seen that. Blackademics. On Facebook, that video has 2.7 thousand views.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Yeah, 'cause it's Facebook.
But like other thing. Anyway, so I'll figure out the Facebook algorithm tomorrow.
We also paid for that video.
Did we? I can't remember that.
Well, Evie's friend did.
Oh, right, it got boosted. Yeah. I forgot we boosted that post. So it was amazing. It was alligator tail fillet, I believe is what it was.
Yeah.
And it was, and he let us have, we're special boys. So we had a little bit, what's the phrase? How do I want to phrase it? A little bit, sashimi style, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of his homemade. He does like his own aged sriracha. Oh my god.
Yeah. So his menu includes such eclectic things as, again, alligator,
the camel.
My favorite
Used to have camel.
Yes. One of my favorites is kangaroo.
The kangaroo is awesome. Mm-hmm. Go eat kangaroo. I feel like if you are at all carnivorous, like if you're not a vegetarian or a vegan, go out of your way to eat bizarre, what may seem to us as bizarre meats.
And I mean also kangaroo is just really good. It's beefy but a little more gamey, but like not quite as gamey as something like venison. Super good.
Yeah, it is. The way, like I said, Dave is a maestro.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, it's incredible.
Yeah,
and
he's a true chef.
So I'd say
no doubt.
This year alligator. I mean, we've been there a couple times this year, and every time it's my new favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how good the food is. So
go
to Dave's.
He never fails to impress. Broadway in Schenectady. If you're in the area, seriously, do yourself a favor.
Yeah, go there.
For me, I actually had one of the most, I won't say best, because I've been to a few places. Actually, this is the year that I went to that Morton Steakhouse for my grandfather's birthday.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. But one of the most interesting I had was actually made by my dad on Christmas. He made a crown roast with pork chops.
Because everyone's immediate question, the thing I asked was like, oh, so lamb.
Yeah, so a crown roast, for people who don't know, is a bunch of chops, lamb, or in this case pork, with the bones sticking up and the chop kind of facing out, and they're made into a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the end is just kind of like sewed in together with a fiber.
Mm-hmm.
So they're made into a circle. Now with the pork crown roast, the middle of the circle is stuffed with kind of a stuffing, like a dressing.
Oh, okay.
But it's made with sausage and pork and like a little bit of breadcrumbs and like some seasoning, and it's filled up. So the whole thing looks like a circle.
Meat cake.
Yeah, it is. So the whole thing is just a circle of pork chops facing outward with the bones kind of facing up, and then the whole middle is kind of domed over with this sausage, ground meat, breadcrumb, herb dressing, and it's just all in the middle, and it cooks for hours, and the whole thing retains moisture because it's all just meat.
All the membranes are still intact too on the outside when you have the pork chops there. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
My mouth is watering actually just thinking about it.
I had pork tonight for dinner, and I'm thinking about the pork I had, and it was good, but like,
so it got me to thinking of this kind of crazy, like, we took an animal, ripped it apart, strung it into a circle, and then stuffed it with more of the same animal.
That's why we're at the top of the food chain.
I know.
We did it.
It
we conquered animals.
So that's why it's my favorite, right? Because not only did it tasted great, so kudos to my dad. It tasted amazing, but also it's maybe the most like hedonistic, indulgent.
It's so indulgent.
It's so like top of the food chain. Like, hey, pigs, fuck you.
Yeah, the police. I'm the game.
Motherfucking game.
Not bird.
G you not.
Oh yeah, G you not.
I forgot to mention.
We gotta do a hey, remember the game.
Oh my god.
Because I remember the game.
I forgot to mention about the game. He made a group organization. It was mostly just him, as far as I know.
Him yelling at a camera.
That kind of ripped off, like made fun of G Unit, because he was part of G Unit, and so he's like trying to diss G Unit, so he left and then started G U not.
Oh, got him.
And
he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world when anyone says it.
He does.
When anyone says G U not, he's like, oh, that's real funny shit.
Watch the game documentary.
It's not funny, the game.
I plead with you. watch the game documentary.
Oh my god. So what about? So we did food.
Yeah.
We did some drinks. We did some music. I think the next logical step, movies.
film.
So the kind of criteria we had, as you guys know from Hey Remember, Mitchell and I don't really watch new movies.
We're pretty bad at that.
We're stupid, and so we don't watch new things.
We're stupid.
We don't watch new things. Oh, you know what? I might have just come up with a new one.
That should be our Heck Media tagline.
We're dumb.
Heck Media. We're stupid.
Heck Media. Dumb. Just the word dumb.
Dumb. D-U-M.
Dumb shit. Dumb shit. That was like the first. Okay, so my favorite movie that I watched this year, my initial answer was Fear and Loathing. Not that it came out this year.
No, because we, again, bad at watching new movies.
Bad at watching new movies.
Although,
so just a movie we watched.
I guess, right, if we were picking for movies that came out this year, I guess. I've only watched, like, 2.
See, I forgot that Dunkirk came out this year.
I haven't seen it.
I wrote for the school paper, when I was writing for the school paper, I wrote a big write-up on it, and it was legitimately, I think it's one of the best war movies. It's better than Saving Private Ryan, I'm saying it. Better than Saving Private Ryan, better than Platoon, it's better than Apocalypse Now, it's better than 1/3 of Forrest Gump. It's, it's better than Starship Troopers. It's just like, it's such a perfect movie.
1/3 of Forrest Gump.
1/3. You know, Forrest Gump's like a 3-hour long movie.
Oh yeah, it's
I
long.
Always forget. I love it to death, but I always forget that it's
that movie goes on forever.
But Dunkirk was a phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen Dunkirk, and they're coming up with there's a new movie coming out, like The Last Good Man, I think it is.
What, from the same people?
Yeah, it's based on what happened in Dunkirk. It's the political side of it. It's like Churchill. And there's commercials for it everywhere.
I'll actually have to check that out. Sounds interesting.
I can't remember the name. I'll put it in the description.
See, that's the weird thing, right? I like movies.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't watch them.
It takes me a long time to remember. Like, literally remember. Like, a movie will come up, like, that sounds really cool. And then, it took me forever to watch, like, Neon Demon.
Yeah.
Or, like, Drive. Like, all these, like, cool movies that are totally my aesthetic. Or, like, the new Blade Runner I saw.
I keep lists, and then I just don't watch them.
Yeah. So, what movie do you like?
Mine is a movie called The Man from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a late 2000s movie, I believe. 08, 09, something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Near when Monster Ball came out.
Sure.
Cool Monster Ball reference.
So it's a neat movie about a hypothetical. What if a Cro-Magnon man, a prehistoric man, I don't know if it was Cro-Magnon exactly. What if a prehistoric man just never died, was still alive until this day?
Like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, was somehow granted eternal youth and was just still alive. Like, he'd lived through the whole time. He wasn't frozen, he didn't time travel, he was just alive from prehistory till current day. Like, what would he be like? And then it was a 12 Angry Men style group of people in one setting arguing or complaining or telling their own stories. And it was very interesting, a real thinker, because the main character of the movie is claiming to be this person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of up to the watcher to think, like, through the whole movie. They don't confirm it right away. So it's up to they don't confirm or deny it right away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of up to the viewer to be like, is this guy serious?
Mm-hmm.
And then you view the comments and actions of his colleagues through that lens of, like, are they taking him seriously? Are they not?
And so there's always a question of who believes who and what is true. And, but how do we define true?
Yeah.
There's a lot. So it sounds like there's a lot of layers.
It is. It's a very psychological.
Movie.
You definitely should.
Watch it.
You want to watch it later?
No, absolutely not.
It's very good. You definitely should watch it. It's weird, and it's definitely a movie that I would say I wish was more popular, because it was a bunch of nobodies. No actors that anybody knows.
I think nowadays it is kind of on the name of the actors and directors. Like, you can't put out, like there's probably not going to be another Kubrick that comes out of nowhere.
Well, occasionally you'll catch one that'll do like a best picture type, and you'll get somebody new out of that.
Yeah, that's true.
But this movie was sort of self-contained. It was proudly low budget because it didn't hire anybody known. And it used 2 sets, the inside of a house and the outside of that same house.
See, that's a callback to what I said earlier about the limitations.
Yeah.
Like those kind of, I feel like when you have too much freedom, it's the jelly bean thing. For everyone, quick reference for the jelly bean thing. There's a jelly bean, it was the jelly bean thing. It was a study done, I think it was in California, where a group of researchers brought out some jelly beans. In the first round of jelly beans, there was 2 different colored jelly beans. There's like a red one and a blue one, like the most polar opposite flavors you could get. They went up to people. I think he was in Ventura, maybe. I don't remember.
Some
Venice.
city.
I think it was Venice Beach. And they went up to people and they're like, "Hey, which one do you want? Do you want a jelly bean? Which one do you want?" You know, under the pretense that they had to pick one.
Yeah.
And there is a kind of a confirmation that goes on in your head when you pick two. When you have two options, you pick one, you take it, and you're happy with it. Then they brought out a second round of experiments where they had about like 30 different flavors of jelly beans or something like that. A lot of jelly beans.
Yeah.
And almost everyone who took a jelly bean regretted what they chose because they had so many options, and this illusion of choice made them not like what they made. It made them less happy with their decision.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this red one, I like cherry, but I could have strawberry. Like, not to say that strawberry and cherry are super similar flavors, but that's the whole concept.
Yeah, but
I could have had a blue raspberry instead of a blue Hawaiian.
Yeah, when you're presented too many options, there's gonna be more than one that you think you like.
Mm-hmm.
When you're presented with two, it's kind of like you're just picking between two, so you're less likely to regret your decision. Whereas if you were picking from amongst 10, and you're like, oh man, I really like 5 of these, but I only get to pick one.
Yeah, and exactly, and I think by extension that can be kind of crammed into the creative process.
Yeah,
when you work in restrictions, that's when you have boundaries. Like, I cannot imagine what it's like for someone like Michael Bay. Like, of course he makes explosion porn movies, but
he can do anything.
But he can do anything, and that would be simultaneously the most liberating but the most stressful thing.
Actually, now that you mention that, it's an interesting thing, right? Because directors themselves have no direction. Yeah, they're little to no direction.
They're the one kind of doing it.
They're the one kind of just making it.
That's why when you go for like a movie deal or some kind of deal, they'll give you restraints. They're like, we need to see this, we need to see this one, and that gives you kind of a skeleton. But it sounds like this movie worked under constraints because if it had nobodies, it must have been low budget.
Yeah.
So and of course two sets, low budget.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. I never want people to associate low budget directly with bad.
No, because you can make great things with low resources. It's just you need to know your limitations.
No, yeah,
you can't make a big dumb action movie with no money.
Yeah,
but you can make something that makes people think when it's all character interaction, dialogue, and interest.
That's why a lot of directors will start with horror movies, because horror movies are by and large cheaper to make.
Yeah.
Because they wanna see that you can command a scene. They want to see that you can set everything up, and make and execute an idea. That's why, like, I can't. None are coming to mind right now, but a lot of people started in horror.
Actually, I have a good one.
See, James Gunn maybe started.
No, the one that I was thinking of was Jordan Peele made Get Out.
Yeah,
that's his first film.
So now he's got a green light for pretty much whatever he wants to make.
Now he can make whatever he wants in Hollywood because he made Get Out, which was very well acclaimed.
Yeah, which is also, I haven't seen that one either. I gotta see Get Out.
Well, we could wait a year and do a Hey Remember on it.
We should.
Look out in 2018 2019 for Hey Remember Get Out.
I can't believe it's almost 2018. Can you believe how bizarrely futuristic that just 2018 sounds?
It does.
You know what?
20 whatever sounds like a future year.
The second it gets to 2020 is when it's going to get real. Because there's two reasons. Because that's just, like, first of all, like, that kind of symmetry. People have boners. It's like it's a total numerology thing. People are just hard for it. But I've been waiting for something in 2020 for the past, like, I don't know when I first made this memory. But there is, and people are going to laugh, and I don't care because I love it sometimes. Angry Video Game Nerd in his
that's right.
Street Fighter 2010 video.
Yeah, there's
Raid 2020. Yep. It's a blue card. There's a man on the front. He looks like Nightshade.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. I will never forget that. And I'm waiting. I know James Rolfe watches this.
Actually, I was watching his most recent Christmas special, and someone in the comments posted about exactly that.
Raid 2020. Because I've been waiting for Raid 2020. And that's the only thing I've been looking forward to my whole life.
Someone was posting, like, hey, it's almost 2018. Like, that just means we're 2 years away from Raid 2020.
For everyone who doesn't care about AVGN anymore, because of course you don't.
Because he's been on the internet for 100 years.
I think I love his early stuff, and his new stuff is not bad by any means. I'm just not the demographic for it anymore.
It's a little samey, so, like, he's kind of kept the same. We were interested in it when we were, I don't know, what?
We were in middle school.
Yeah, so I mean, we were, whatever, say 13 years old.
Yeah, anywhere between 10 and 13 when we first put out.
And it's been about 10 or so years since we've been really interested in AVGN. He's kind of kept the same audience. He's kept, kids, people who watch his stuff are probably about the same age, and then, like, you know, there's a whole bunch of internet people that also...
Also, to his credit, he's also diversified a lot. And I see a lot of channels doing this. He does, like, the James and Mike Mondays. He does some, like, Let's Play kind of stuff.
He does his Cinemassacre movie stuff.
Monster Madness I look forward to every year.
Yeah, it's a good thing that he does.
I love Monster Madness.
Well, because what I like about... I mean, I guess we're going off on a tangent here. But
talk about AVGN.
What I like about him is that he's a filmmaker. So, like, when he's making videos, he's making movies first.
Short films, basically.
Yeah, he's making essentially a production more than he's making anything about a video game. So it's all about the content more than it is about the source material.
Yeah, and I think, actually, I just had a realization. I think that might have been one of the faux pas with our... Not to say it was a faux pas. I think it was an ambitious experiment. Our Heckmas Hectacular. Because I think we did... All the parts I dragged out, now that I'm thinking about it, were the Fae parts. Because I kept a little too much in. Especially in the beginning. Because I wanted to establish... I'm like, got to establish the thing, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I gave people enough credit to put it together themselves.
Yes.
And I think that's something. Not that I think ill of anyone who watches our videos, of course not. But I think you always kind of have to assume that, or I felt like this, that I always felt like you had to assume everyone's a little dumber than you think they are, and so you have to lay things out more, and not in a malicious way. But
no, you're right. But whereas with our previous content, we hadn't really thought about it that way.
And I think I overthought it.
Yeah, I think we both did. I think it was a product of, not to make excuses, because again, it wasn't the best thing we could have put out.
The whole production was hell.
Yeah.
It was a hellish production.
But I think that's why we did it that way. We were kind of under a constraint, and so we were overthinking things because we ourselves were a little overwhelmed by it. So I think we maybe were expecting our audience to be also.
Yeah, so like I put in some like pauses. I put in things that were a little longer to let people kind of catch up. But again, like I said, we were looking at it as creators, not consumers.
Yeah.
And I think that's something...
Which is usually our strength, where we look at things as consumers, because as much as maybe this does or doesn't shine through with what we make, we try to make things that we want to watch ourselves.
Yeah, if I look at something we make, like a script or a... Calling them scripts is loose. Our production documents... And
that's a good way to put it.
And stuff like that. If I don't think it's funny, and if I don't think it would be funny, or if I don't think it'd be entertaining, we don't do it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, very much to your point. I think, again, not that we dropped the ball, but I think we thought too much, which is a funny thing to say about a video about a fucking bootleg VHS dogs with people and sweaters.
But that's why it's good that it came out as well as it did.
Well, because all the funny parts are stuff that we didn't think a whole lot of.
Yeah.
Like throwing the tree. That's one of the tree and the sledding. Anything that was physical comedy, people loved a lot. Because it's, first of all, like I said, I love it. It's lowest common denominator comedy, which is what makes it great. Because I can show that to my mom and my dad, or I can show it to my shitty friends.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna think it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's
you're right.
Okay. So I think that kind of broad appeal, but also nicheness is something that kind of maybe not sets us apart, but at least gives us our own voice.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with this. The fact of the matter is, Heckmas sucked, and it was a solid 6 out of 10 video.
Yeah, we could have done better, but we were under a lot of time constraints, so I'm gonna give us a pass.
Listen, if that's how. And to give a little more inside baseball, like a good old heck inside baseball.
Heck inside baseball. Yeah, this is what you're here for.
That's what everyone comes here for, the inside baseball. Everyone comes.
If you're watching the podcast, you're here for inside baseball.
So, when we came up with the idea for the video, I had a kind of a trilogy in mind of what to do. So next year, we're gonna do part 2. And
we'll film that one over the course of 2 weeks.
2 months. I'm giving us a 2-month production cycle on that one.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is, because I don't want to...
All right, we're going ambitious on this one. Look forward to Christmas 2018.
Christmas 2018 is going to be like a real thing.
Seriously, apparently.
Because Christmas is my favorite time of year. This whole part of the year is great.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Because it lets me, in 1/12 of the year, I get to stop being an asshole and just be genuine to people, and no one calls me on it. Because it's just the time of the year. It's the reason for the season, all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? And so if I can stop being a meme lord for 1 month, what if I extend that to 2 months? But still acted like a piece of shit, didn't extend it at all, and just kept it for December. Right?
Well, I am actually looking forward to... Because we've never done a video that has taken place over the course of production of other videos. We sort of just create a project and then do it. Mm-hmm. We don't really stop to be like, well, we don't have all the stuff for this yet. We'll do it in a month, or we'll start production now and finish it next week.
Yeah.
We just kind of do it. So if we do have a production next Christmas that starts a month in advance or 2 months in advance, and we're filming and producing that for 2 months while we're also putting out other stuff, it'll be an interesting little challenge and sort of something new for Heck, I think.
I think for Heck 2018, I guess to kind of round it out, close up the podcast. I think we hit everything. Is there anything else you want to hit?
I mean, I think we can wrap it up here.
I think 2018 for Heck is gonna be really neat because this is the first year I'll be in the area.
Shaboy graduated college.
I graduated college.
Put
I did.
A little confetti dropping.
That's work for me.
Yeah, good.
Stop giving me work.
Well, you graduated. You got some free time now.
But I'll be in the area now, and despite how great I thought the Purge video was, and we worked well under those constraints, I think a lot of things, it's a lot easier if I'm around more.
Yeah.
Because what we ended up doing with Heckmas, I'm going to talk about this for the 18,000th time as we close out. Let's just do a Heckmas behind the scenes, like, director's commentary.
Yeah.
That'd be actually kind of funny.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I might do that so I can just bitch about my editing stuff.
We should do behind the scenes stuff for some of these videos that
that
are interesting. Obviously not for everything, because some of them are boring. We just get together and talk and then do it. Because again, our production cycles are pretty short.
It's like it's always less than a week. Like it's a couple days.
Yeah.
Always.
But for some of the bigger ones or some of the more interesting ones, something like the Christmas Hectacular might be interesting to have some behind the scenes about it.
Yeah. Fuck, what was I saying?
I don't know.
God, I got lost again.
Well,
2018, right?
Yeah.
So one thing we kind of started doing it with the Heckmas video. Throughout anytime I have an idea for anything, whether it's something I want to write, or something I want to shoot, or something I want to do, I write it down.
Yeah.
And for Heckmas, I think that's the one thing we did well while we were making it. We made a lot of notes while we were shooting it.
Yes.
Right, which is good. I think if that was coupled with more pre-planning, it would have been less of a fucking disaster.
I agree.
Fucking disaster. Quote unquote.
Well, yeah.
I hope you felt
we also should have done the filming over 2 days, and we should have done the editing. Well, I guess you should have done the editing. We should have given you more time.
Yeah, I think because and again, I was also working
if we had given us 2 days to film and you 3 days to edit,
that would have been perfect.
It would have been great.
I would have been able to do Acts 1 and 2, and then Act 3, and then Act 4 and 5. Yeah. It would have been perfect.
Yeah. So we're learning. And we're hoping to pass some of that on to you guys. We're always trying to make better content.
Yeah.
We have fun with what we do here. It's a little, masturbatory and a little dopey.
It's a lot masturbatory.
Yeah, it's a lot masturbatory. So, but we try to have fun, and we hope that you guys do too. So we're gonna try to be just a little bit better in 1% less worse in 2018.
I think, like I said in the beginning, the first year, I believe, is always going to be the hardest for anyone starting anything. But once you get into a groove, once you kind of start, because starting's always the hardest, right?
Yeah.
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step.
Yeah.
Kind of idea. Bruce Lee said that. Probably somebody else said that too, but I know it from Bruce Lee saying it. And so, just if you're working on stuff, if you want something to get done, if you have a New Year's resolution, I hate New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, they don't
just fix your life when there's a problem.
Yeah.
But the hot takes.
Well, because those New Year's resolutions, nobody follows through with them because
it's
just such a farce.
It's the same reason why people fail on a diet, because diets are temporary. Lifestyle changes aren't. You have to do a lifestyle change. Yeah. Also, I think I'm happy with 2018. I lost 20 pounds.
I lost 15.
Hey, we're gonna get jacked.
We're slightly less fat than we were in the first video of 2017.
I watched some of it. It was the Avatar video. I had my hair cut real short. Everyone looks fatter with their hair short, but I look especially fat. I got a big old head, and it kind of like with the hair, and like I got wide shoulders and like a big fucking head. Yeah. But my hair kind of like hides it a little bit. Like
I can't tell you how many videos we've been sitting out on the couch there, and my gut's just showing.
Yeah, and I'm like laying back, and I got like 13 chin. I saw that, and I'm like, I can't.
Being on video, hey kids, if you want to lose weight, put yourself on video. You'll find motivation real fast.
Especially as our editor, because like I have to sit there and fucking look at myself. And when you make a funny face, sometimes it's funnier if you're fatter.
That's true.
Like certain faces,
if you have more chins, you got a lot of room to work
going on.
Now we don't have any chins to show people what we're talking about.
But like,
just get a little bit like.
There we go. I gotta like push it.
Yeah, push it
So
in now.
gross. You're welcome.
It's also harder now that we have beards, because even if you don't have a beard, you can just see it.
Oh man, even when I had my beard, I was fat. But it's not a bad thing, right? I mean, listen, if you're happy fat, that's fine. I don't care. But if you wanna like start like fixing shit in your life, if you wanna start doing things, don't wait till New Year's.
No,
just do it.
Yeah.
Just don't make it a thing, and don't tell anybody.
Yeah, change your lifestyle. Don't change your public appearance. Don't make it like a whole thing.
I'll be like, I'm doing this now. Look at me, everyone.
Just,
like, no, I hit the gym.
Yeah.
4 times a week. I don't say anything to anyone.
Just fix yourself, man. It's. I want to say that easy. It's not easy.
Well, it's simple.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah, it's that simple. It's really one step of just like...
Of course, unless you have other kind of medical... whatever.
Yeah.
We're talking normal people, not...
normal people. Heck Media, made up completely of normal people.
Normal people. I hope our audio listeners felt those...
Those air quotes? I think they might have. I think we hit those.
I feel like... we just gotta start hitting the mic. That spike it, nice. I can't wait to fix that. So I guess closing out 2017, I'm Brendan.
And I'm Mitchell.
And... thanks for showing up. I hope you guys have a good New Year's. Drive safe. Drink a lot. And don't drive.
Yeah, take a cab,
Uber.
folks.
Uber,
Uber's in upstate New York now.
Yeah.
That's another thing in 2017 that was pretty good.
Ooh, also, Lyft is here, so if you want to be a loser...
Yeah, well, if you want to be some ride app hipster,
Schlubs.
Lyft is here.
I've seen more billboards for Lyft than I have for Uber.
Wonder why.
Which is sad.
I wonder why.
Billboards are sad.
Billboards are
sad advertising. Because it's 2017 billboards. Anyway, so for Heck Media... All right, guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Happy New Year.
Hey.